Life is a biography.
This Sunday, in observance of International Women's Day, Garth and Natasha paid tribute to the hard-working women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Who were the pioneers? What is it really like in a male-dominated environment? What's the next glass ceiling to be broken? Taking on this journey and sharing her story of 39 years service will be Deputy Commissioner of Police Joanne Archie. You don't want to miss Eye on Dependency this Sunday from 10 a.m. Listen live on I95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives. We change lives.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Gender equal world, a world free of bias, stereotypes and discrimination, a world that's diverse, equitable and inclusive, a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Together we can forge women's equality. Collectively we can all break the bias. Let's celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness against bias and take action for equality.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Joanne Archie, who is performing in the position of Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, enlisted in the TTPS on the 19th of April 1982, 39 years of service. She is the holder of a Bachelor's of Laws degree with honors from the University of London, a Master's in Mass Communications from the University of Leicester, a Diploma in Human Resource Management from the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. She has worked in several departments in the TTPS, anti-corruption investigations. She spent 19 years as a criminal investigator in the CID Southern Division. She performed as the Inspector in charge of crime for the Southwestern Division. She was the first public information officer in the TTPS, where she was known as the face of the TTPS. She also was the first female senior superintendent in charge of the Tobago Division, where she performed with distinction. She has earned over 23 service commendations, including those from bravery to devotion to duty, and was also recognized by the National Security Officers Foundation for excellence in policing. She served as Deputy Commissioner of Police for Administration for 1 year, and now she is performing in the office of the Deputy Commissioner of Police for Operations. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Eye on Dependency, right here on I95.5 FM live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. Morning.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Eye on Dependency. We are blessed and highly favored this morning.
Yes, we are.
Because we celebrate, or look forward to celebrating International Women's Day on Tuesday next, 8th of March. We have in studio Deputy Commissioner of Police Joanne
Terry.
Archie. Joanne Archie, who is gonna tell us about her own journey through the ranks of the police service, but also we're gonna take a look back at where it all started, who the pioneers are in the police service, and why do some women choose the police service as a career. We're going to talk about the biases and discrimination that they may face, the challenges they face, and how they are overcome, and how the DCP has arrived at the position that she's at now with over almost 40 years service in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We are very proud and pleased to have you here.
Yes, so let me just put some icing on that. Okay. Joanne Archie, folks, there's so many things we can say about this lady. I have the distinction and indeed a pleasure of calling her homie, because we grew up in the same village in Coquille, San Fernando, and Joanne never changed from ever since we knew her going to school to now. There's nothing that you can, once her name comes up in any discussion, there's always good things that comes out from everyone in that discussion. Really, and extremely proud to have my schoolmate and everything else I can add to that, the accolades here this morning in studio. It was unexpected, but since the lifting of the measures and all of that, we got clearance to have Ms. Archie in, and we are indeed thankful for that. So, Joanne Terry Archie, good morning. I can't help that. I just love that.
Thank you. Good morning, Garth and Natasha. And firstly, let me say thank you very much for affording me the opportunity to be here to speak on my organization, which I'm extremely proud of. I want to say good morning to the viewing and listening audience and all my women police who are also tuned in, and our male officers as well. A pleasant morning to you.
Yes, you're welcome. You're most welcome. And as you said, we have a number of folks got in contact with us, and so happy to know that we were having you this morning, and we really thank you for that. And also, we remind you about the International Women's Day, Hands Across the Waters, that's going to take place tomorrow. This evening. This evening at Woodford Square. So we'll talk more about that later. So let's take a break while you all settle in, folks. Remember, you can find us on YouTube and Facebook on the Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel as we prepare to speak with this illustrious citizen here this morning. We'll be back.
Finally, welcome relief comes in the form of a scientific-based how to manage through the tough current challenges, called Capitalism. It features best-selling author on positivity and happiness, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, integrated with the award-winning Intangents methodology of Ross. Visit capitalism.me to register now for this free life-transforming program endorsed by the United Nations established University for Peace.
Some of us like to play games of chance, but remember, gaming should be fun, so don't get carried away. Play for a prize, but don't pay the price. Play for fun, but never for keeps. Play smart, but never play all. Winning isn't everything. If you or someone you know needs help, Call our gambling addiction hotlines, Rebirth House 623-0952 or After Hours 466-3146 or Serenity Place Empowerment Center for Women 794-7980, an initiative of NLCB and Eye on Dependency.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us, folks. And so here's what we're going to see this morning. We have some, as usual, we have some pictures to show you. And you're going to see some from the first batch of WPCs in the police service. And, you could see the police service have come of age and they have grown by leaps and bounds. And we are really happy to have, let me tell you, we have some of the most brilliant police officers in the Commonwealth. I could guarantee you all that from some of the things that I've witnessed in the past and seen and the way they work. And our police officers are really, we must say hats off to them for those of you who are committed and dedicated to service. I've always said that there are people who join the police service and they are police officers. We have a police officer here with us this morning.
Okay. So yeah, short man, we could start with the first three. The first batch of women police was in 1955. And I don't know if you could probably shed some light on why you think those women decided to take that step to join, and by extension, why did you decide to join?
Well, Natasha, firstly, let me say we celebrate and honor these women every year. We have just celebrated 66 years women in the organization. And these 12 women who blazed the trail for women police in the organization and who took that brave step on the 29th of August, 1955. We celebrate these women, we honor these 11 women, 12 entered the police barracks, 11, one left and 11 passed out. But these women set the trail for us as women police in the organization today. Yeah. And we thank them and we salute them. You would know some of them, Miss Jessica Smith-Phillips, Doreen Lumpers Noel, Pearl Bruce, Irene Cozier Toussaint, Phillips Wilson, Merle Payne Bertrand, Cynthia Sintord, Cynthia Israel, Myrtle Lewis Carter, Mavis Griffith, Elsie Cummins, and Sheila Cipriani began that journey for us.
Go to the next one, short man, please.
So they actually hit the ground first.
Yeah.
In the
I think in the uniforms too.
Yeah.
Yes.
The long skirts.
You see, we have come a long way, but what their legacy live on.
Here's another shot of them.
Another shot is coming up of
Yeah.
a real live shot of
Yes.
them in their long skirts, berets.
Those are the women. At the time, in 1955, what the organization discovered that there were issues that the public raised as it relates to children and women. And to adequately serve the public at that time, they enlisted these women police to address the issues of women and children. And since then, we have come a very long way with women police in the organization.
Indeed. And I noticed I don't want to hop on this, but at this point in time, were the men wearing short pants, shorts and puttees?
Yes, they were. They were. That was the uniform at the time, and as you're seeing, we have changed from that.
Yeah.
Several different uniforms you are seeing now, all legitimate. So we're looking at two commissioners here, right? Who are they? You know the one look like Tony Mayer.
Yes,
I want to believe.
The other person I had to recognize the face.
Yes.
I think the woman police there is Miss Marjorie John.
Oh,
Okay.
that's my
And
John.
she was a national netballer
Yeah.
and a
Yes.
tennis player as well.
Yes, yes.
She represented the organization well.
Famous Marjorie John.
Yes.
Yes, that's her.
The next one, short man, is a very famous lady as well. I first heard about her when Garth mentioned her name, and she is Pearl Bruce, who had a
Superintendent.
reputation, a tremendous reputation in South Trinidad, I understand.
Oh yes, you call her name in San Fernando and they will tell you Auntie Pearl. She was also a national awardee.
Yes.
She received one of the awards for community service. And you, as I said, you call the name Pearl Bruce. She was a community name. She
Yes.
served what we have now, community policing now. She also served with distinction. And she was a mentor to many young women police. She's also a relative of mine as well. One of the number of police officers in my family.
Wow.
So-
Well, let me just share before you go on. Let me just share a letter to the editor that was written to the Newsday on her passing in 2017, and the writer says, "Let us remember this pioneer of women police work in Trinidad and Tobago, Superintendent Pearl Bruce. She went to be with the Lord on September 16th. That would be 2017." Bruce was among the first batch of women police to enter this male-dominated force in 1955. She and 11 other recruits were selected from 1,700 applicants to be trained over a 6-month period. The need for females in the police force became necessary after World War II, when there was an upsurge in female and juvenile delinquency. The laws were amended to recruit women officers, their first roles being to deal with children, prostitutes, and sexual assault matters. Bruce, having been brought up in a strong Christian home, struggled as a recruit as she was unable to attend church during her 6-month training period. It was a difficult experience for her. However, she persevered and came through the ranks, rising from a WPC in 1955 to superintendent at her retirement. She was awarded a Medal of Merit in 1992 for her service to country. After her retirement from the police service, Bruce continued serving the country through her social work, and even when she was confined to bed, she continued to work tirelessly. And this letter was written by Reverend Robert Dash of Tableland, so that is just evidence of the impact that she had in her community and in her church.
That's who Pearl Bruce was to us and to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We salute deceased Superintendent Pearl Bruce.
Indeed. Let's go to the next one. Is Marjorie John, who you just mentioned, short man, and this is her leading the Trinidad and Tobago netball team.
Yes, she as well. And I know she's still alive.
She is.
And going strong, very hot mouth.
Yes.
But she also represented the organization and the Trinidad and Tobago Police netball. The national netball team. And she is one of the women police who we also salute and honor on International Women's Day.
If you're just joining us, folks, you're listening to Dependency. Thank you for joining us. Those of you on YouTube and Facebook, we thank you so much for joining us to celebrate this, this national icon so far in the police service. I mean that, she's no stranger to the microphone, and she became the face of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service a couple years back, and she has been doing a fantastic job. Her name is Joanne Archie, and she's here with us this morning, and we thank her.
So as we continue along the journey in history, we have some images. You could just flip through them, short man. Give a few minutes for each. Showing women police showing arms at a church service here.
That's a firing party at a funeral. And it shows the different areas and roles as women police that we can and currently serve. There's a firing party here, that photo you have seen there. Only women
Okay. And this was at a church service? Or?
It was at a funeral service.
Right, a funeral, right. Okay. Yeah, because normally the men would do this. So,
Morning party.
yes. Okay.
So the next one is I think from a trip to South Africa, I believe. The next three, we see these women police officers, these senior officers, first division officers.
That's
in
Pet
Durban,
Joseph in
South
front there, right?
Africa.
Yes, Patsy Joseph,
Patsy Joseph.
Inez Joseph, Miss Anne-Marie Allen, and Beverly, and Odette Lewis, sorry. Several of the women police in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service are members of the International Association of Women Police. This organization holds training sessions all over the world annually. We have several of our members, our officers who are members and who attend these training conferences where we are afforded training on contemporary policing and other issues that affect women in the organization. So these are some of the women police who would have attended that conference in Durban, South Africa.
Patsy Joseph, another southerner.
Another
schoolmate. Yes.
So women in the house.
Yes.
And the
so
next
well
one is them
represented.
on parade.
This is a contingent of Trinidad and Tobago
I
police
remember this.
officers
Yes.
who attended the conference as well, both senior and junior women police.
I remember this. This
And the next one is the second division group. The next one, short one.
There's a huge contingent you all went up there with?
We are well
Yes.
represented in that association. There are several members because we have our own local chapter of the Association of Women Police.
Right.
Nice.
Folks, if you could join us on Facebook or YouTube, you could catch some of these photos, really, the women representing as we prepare to observe International Women Day. Women were representing here this morning.
Indeed.
And we, of course, the women, particularly in Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
And we have coming up next another standout, the next one, short man, another standout, Inspector Merle Bowen. You tell us about this lady.
She carried the flag for the Trinidad and Tobago contingent at the same conference. So Inspector Bowen, still a member of the police service, but she carried the flag of the Trinidad and Tobago contingent.
In South Africa. When was this?
This was in 11 or 13, somewhere there.
All right. And then the next one is, again, performing some of the duties that you expect a man to perform, leading the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service band on the road. The next slide.
So there you go. Oh, please again. And I'm so proud of our women that the mace.
The mace, yes.
The mace woman, the mace man.
Mace woman.
The drum major, the women police, as I told you, we are represented everywhere. According to Michael Jackson, we just got to be there.
So, and she took over from Mr. Archie?
He retired, and so we have both male and female drum majors.
Right.
So she's just one of the female officers who
Okay.
perform that role from time to time.
God, I mean, I getting goosebumps just looking at it. So I could imagine how she felt
I know.
leading the crew.
Yes. And we continue with some other outstanding senior women police, starting with
That is Miss
Glenda
Jennings
DCP Jennings Smith.
who she retired as an assistant commissioner of police. And these are some of the women who mentored us, who coached us, who trained us, and who we saw as, mentors.
Yes.
She's also a former member of parliament for the constituency of Toko Sandy Grande,
Yes.
and parliamentary secretary and minister in the Ministry of National Security.
Yep.
So we are proud of our ladies who held leadership position in the organization and continue to lead in other fields.
She's a very nice lady.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Very nice
And
lady.
she did outstanding. I know my mother has mentioned her on several occasions for her work in Digger Martin in particular. She was,
Okay.
I think, leading the Northern Division. I don't know who this young
This
lady is.
and you will know who she is. That is Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, Miss Erla Christopher.
Oh, this is Christopher.
Right.
She is now holding the position of Deputy Commissioner of Police Administration.
Right.
And Miss Christopher was the youngest to be promoted to the Assistant Commissioner of Police. So she will be the longest serving executive officer in the TTPS as she turns 60 next year as well.
Okay.
No, she's not 60, Joanne.
Well,
No.
that's how we do it in the police service.
No, man. No, but
That's
she's
how we
looking
do
like
it in the police
she's
service.
30s. Wow.
And she's also a member of the batch, and she's my batch.
Okay.
And coming out of my batch of 1982, where we had 60 women enlisted, there are still 5 women remaining, all ACPs, and our batch produced 5 ACPs.
Papa.
So I think that is a record for women police in the organization.
Yes, the batch of 82.
Well done, ladies.
Yeah, man. And
Well
the
done.
next one, the final one on the list.
Anne-Marie Allen Daly. You all would be familiar with her because she is the first woman police to act as Commissioner of Police in the TTPS.
Right.
Right.
The first among many firsts. The first and only woman to get as Commissioner of Police. The first woman to head and deputy head of special branch. First woman chair and 2 women to chair promotion advisory board. She established the Child Protection Unit and is currently the Deputy Director of SSA. So she went on to lead.
Nice.
She holds 3 master's degrees in applied criminology from the University of Cambridge, Masters of Business Administration from Anglia Ruskin University, and educational psychology from the University of the Southern Caribbean.
Wow.
These are what women police are made of.
Wow. I'm really, and of course we'll get into that discussion later on. How men in the police service adjusted to women in leadership
Women in their
roles,
ranks,
and
yes.
I know for some men it's difficult, but it is what it is, and we could discuss that too. How you get around, because I'm sure you would have met 1 or 2 misogynists on your way
Along
up.
the way.
Yeah.
And the final one, short man, as we prepare to take a break. This is the young lady who's in studio with us,
Yes.
DCP Joanne
Yes, she is already.
Archie. And again, after the break, we will go into her journey and where it started, and some of the rocky roads, the smooth roads, what she would have encountered during her 39 years in the service.
You're listening to Dependency right here on I-95.5, live on the Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. We have Archie in studio with us. We're going to take a quick break. We have lots more to show you and lots more to chat about. We'll be back. Stay right there.
Listen now, has noticed something out. Them new people and them up the road there. Where's that? Yo, the man is passing up and down in front of here with a set of woman.
I really noticed some woman living there, And they can't even say as much as good morning.
Well, listen now, I wonder if it's human trafficking. You think it's that?
So, how can you spot and identify perpetrators and victims of trafficking? Many victims are found living and working together in the same place and sleep in shared and inappropriate spaces. Victims work excessively long hours. They often sleep in the daytime and work long nights. They are often escorted everywhere they go and may appear to be malnourished. They may show signs of physical abuse, drug and alcohol use, and may also appear withdrawn, fearful, or intimidated. Victims who are migrants are often not in possession of their identity or immigration documents and have irregular immigration status. Perpetrators can be male or female and may appear to be managing or controlling the victims. And they may even at times appear to be the victim's best friend, boyfriend, or employer.
We are the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Finally, Welcome Relief comes in the form of a scientific-based program that shows us how to manage through the tough, current challenges. called Habitalism. It features best-selling author on positivity and happiness, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, integrated with the award-winning Intangents methodology of Ross. Visit habitalism.me to register now for this free life-transforming program endorsed by the United Nations established University for Peace. Gifted by Guardian Group. Live easy.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us on Eye on Dependency, and good morning to you if you're tuned in on I95.5 FM or on the Facebook or YouTube streams. Now, before we get into our interview with DCP Archie, I just wanted to share some of your comments. Garth, you want to start?
Good morning, Garth and Natasha. I hope all is well. You could not have a more wonderful, gracious, humble, disciplined person on your program today. She epitomizes brilliance and class. No doubt her tenure in the service is coming to an end at the time when the service would need her most. I look forward to honoring her very soon. Cheers. That's from Mr. Rex Vidali.
Bianca says, I always knew she was dedicated and hardworking, but what a list of achievements. Angela says, congratulations to you, Joanne. Continue your excellent work. Pearl says, good morning, DCP Joanne Archie. Thank you for your service. Angela again says, congrats, Joanne. Love from our family. Angela Carty. Okay. May God continue to bless you. Pearl South produce some really great people. I know that is a chorus that I hear in my head a lot. Annette says, Mrs. Archie is my choice for the next commissioner of police. Beverly says, great morning. Special good morning to DCP Archie. Thank you for your service. Pearl says she remembers her namesake, Pearl Bruce. She was an outstanding officer in South. Leon says, Jamaica has a lady in charge of their defense force. The only one in the world. Could Miss Archie be our first female commissioner?
That would be nice.
That would indeed be nice.
We have to continue our journey here. So
Yes.
if you could log on, you can see some of the photos that we have to show you. We're showing off Ms. Archie here this morning. So those of you on radio, we'll try to describe it for you, but technology affords us this now. So can we proceed?
Yes. So tell us, where did it start for you, and what led you to deciding to join the police service?
You have a very interesting recruiting story. That's about that.
Yes.
And good morning to Mommy Archie. Good morning.
Yes.
What's her first name again?
Rita.
Rita. Good
Archie.
morning. Good morning, Auntie Rita. I know you're listening. All right.
Well, firstly, let me say thank you for all the kind sentiments that has been expressed.
Stick up in. And I want to thank Mr. Irvin Blackman for allowing
Yes,
Ms. Archie to come
for
here this
holding and
morning.
keeping.
Yes, and thank you very much, my brother.
Yes.
We'll keep her safe and get her home safe. Right. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Garth, my journey started, Garth and Natasha, 19th of April 1982. 60 women entered the police barracks, as it then was, and I was one of those women police who made that decision to have a career in policing.
Go back to the first photo, short man. Stay there for a while. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
Why I chose a career in policing? Well, I my background, policing, my family background. My father was a police officer. I had 2 uncles who were police officers, several cousins, and given, the gray and blue ever present in our home, naturally I gravitated to the career, the profession, being a police officer. I saw the job as one where there was a wide scope for promotion, and one where I could have gotten the opportunity to serve in areas where it was comforting to me, and that is ensuring that you enhance the quality of life for people in the community.
Right.
I seized the opportunity, and I have not regretted any moment of it. Having trained for 6 months and graduated from the police academy, I was sent to Southern Division. And I will tell the public who are listening, Southern Division made me a police officer. I left the academy and I was sent to Monrepo Police Station, where I worked investigating reports, general policing duties, until I saw the passion. I wanted to go more. I serve in different areas at the Women Police branch. I also serve as a court recorder. And whilst as a court recorder, my assistance was sought with respect to recording a statement in a sexual offense, which the CID was investigating. Since they did not have an available woman police. Having assisted in recording a statement from the victim, and the senior superintendent in charge of CID saw, when he read the statement, he asked, who recorded the statement? And he sent for me. And he asked me, Miss Archie, do you want to come in the CID? And the rest was history. I spent 18 years there.
Wow.
A wealth of experience in criminal investigations, and many of the commendations that you read there were as a criminal investigator in the Southern Division, where I was quite known. I work with mostly the males on different squads, and I must say, I could not have reached where I am today without the assistance, the support of my male counterparts. So I want to commend them. They know who they are from that day. Some of them have retired. And the senior officers, the male senior officers at that time as well, who saw that that talent in me and supported me. And I speak of Senior Superintendent Francis Nelson, Dennis Taylor, and even Mr. Jack, who became head of the division after a while. The Criminal Investigations Department, San Fernando, is where I obtained the wealth of experience in policing.
Now, folks, I can tell you all that I had experience with Joanne, who I know she was born to be a police officer. So I had
literally.
Yes. Ironically, I joined in 14th of April 1982. She joined on the 19th, but I got discharged, and you all know the story. So one morning I got up and I decided, let me go there and see who I could hustle or who I could. And then as I was walking up since Brown Terrace, I saw Joanne. And I called her. I said, Joanne,
she was in uniform?
No, she was plain clothes. But I wanted to I know Joanne would have locked me up. But I saved myself from getting locked up because I asked her for the father drill borrow. Joanne was proper though. I said, now God, I will not forget the look on her face. But I knew she figured out right away by looking at me, something wasn't right. And thank God I escaped her locking me up. But then I say, walking up there, I say, you want to be a police officer? I choose yes, because and I know under ordinary circumstances, Joanne was lending me that drill. But she just detected something wrong that morning. And again, we have another schoolmate, Sharon Cooper, who worked also in South at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's the one who fingerprinted me when I got arrested. That's the next story. But I'm just saying that, these are the young women who left school with us and did well in the police service.
I'm sure she would not have, if she had to, she would have done what she had to do,
Oh
right?
yeah, she
would've-
arrested me, yes.
Well, certainly, because I took an oath, and it was unfortunate then when I was approached by Garth, because I knew Garth. We lived in the same area, and when he came up to me, that just sixth sense told me something was wrong, and really that pained me. Because we went to school together. He joined the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, and I went to police. And here it is that he would have met that, got in that situation where, but I thank God that he was able to reach him, that I can sit here and being interviewed by Garth and Natasha. I commend the both of you. I commend you for supporting him, and I commend him for the many lives that he has saved in dealing with substance abuse.
Well, this is about you this morning, so let's go back to the pictures, and we see a set of microphones in front of you here. Shoma, let's go back to the baby face picture. Let's start with that.
Let's go there.
Because I told you, and she looked like one of those, bring your child to work day and they dress up. Well, like when police service have career day and they dress up children in uniform, that's how she looking here. This is a baby face boy. Wow.
Okay, that photo was my first experience in front of the camera.
You were nervous?
I was. I was very nervous because you are in front of the camera there and you are being questioned by a host of reporters. But I think what prepared me for this most is my experience and knowledge as a police officer on the field.
Right.
I was asked to represent the police service as the public information officer by then Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams. And when he approached me, I told him, you're still looking for someone else. I said, that's not for me. I would want to remain on the field out there fighting crime. He said, well, you are the ideal person for the position. And the rest is history. I stayed there for 4 years, where I represented the police at the organization as the public information officer, where I had interaction with the media. And also we use the media then and now as a strategy in crime fighting. The media and the police, we have a symbiotic relationship, and it is a very critical tool in crime fighting, so that we have that, previously it was the relationship between media and policing was sort of adversarial, but now there is a need for policing and a synergy for policing.
A decision was made to change that and come more.
It is a strategic decision that was made.
Right.
Because, as I said, we need each other. We need the media. We need that communication to get out to the public, to expose the public on crime prevention measures. How we educate the public on initiatives that the police have, since we understand that the community involvement is critical in law enforcement. So we have that working relationship with the media in that regard.
Right. When you were appointed to that position, what rank were you at that point?
I was an assistant superintendent.
Assistant ASP.
So you had to leave now what they call a street police role and switch roles now to be that communications person.
Immediately. So I got some training, Mr. Lennox Grant.
Yes.
I got some training from him, and then I was sent in front of the camera right away.
Wow.
And shortly after, we had the first state of emergency. When I asked how often would I be in front of the camera, they said once a week. And then came the state of the emergency, and it was every day.
Yeah.
Right.
So that I had my baptism of fire, more or less, with the state of emergency. And then I needed assistance, and we brought on, at the time, Sergeant Wayne Meister.
Right.
Well, he is still there, that he's one of our media ambassadors. And in addition to that, we have several media ambassadors that we are using this initiative where we have these ambassadors appearing on different media platforms to carry the message and to inform the public of what is happening in the police service, and as a measure of transparency and even education in policing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that it is easier for you as a woman to play that role, being the face of an organization that is male dominated?
Well, I will use the phrase male dominated loosely since 1955 we have really flooded, or more or less in as it stands now, the total women police in the organization is 1,882, and that's regular women police. And we have 1,189 special reserve officers, so total 3,071. And we can be found anywhere in the organization, mounted and canine. We have a senior superintendent female in charge of human resource branch. We have a senior superintendent female in charge of the homicide bureau. We have women in charge of every section and branch that exists in the TTPS. So that we are everywhere. And you know how they locally say we are like salt.
And everything.
Michael Jackson got to be there.
Well integrated. So you would say that women are well integrated in what is perceived to be, let me rephrase it, a male dominated.
Since the positions we hold. We have the female, one of the deputy commissioners, a female, Miss Ulla Christopher. We have the head of special branch, Miss Shalera Hines, female. And I am so proud of my ladies, the head of the largest division, Southern Division, Miss Lucia Winchester. So as you look, from 1955, we are everywhere.
Come a long way. You all
We
came
have
a long
come
way.
a long
Yeah,
way.
Indeed.
yeah,
And I think you have, because of your commitment to duty and dedication and striving for excellence, furthering your education and those kind of things, you have earned that respect and that prominence.
Exactly. And we have the women police who, in addition to these, the 12 women from 1955, we have senior women police ACPs. Margaret Sampson Brown, who was the head of division and measure, and also my cousin as well. And
you're not related to John.
I told you, it's a family of police officers.
Yeah, well.
We have Miss Amber Dinoon.
Yes.
And I call some of the names, Kathleen Weeks, and those are persons who were assistant commissioner of police who retired and who we still keep in communication with.
What a wonderful, beautiful lady.
Oh,
She's still around, right?
She is.
Yeah. I remember Oknew, when it was Oknew, she was in charge of, that was the organized crime and narcotics unit. She was in charge of that at one time.
Correct.
Yeah, that's where I met her.
Right.
And yeah, beautiful soul.
Well, as the photo that we have up here is I guess your younger days.
As a member, yes, I was the youngest member there of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Netball team. So it wasn't just all work; it was a balanced career.
Yes.
And ladies and gentlemen, she was really good on the netball court. Trust me, she wasn't no walkover. She was hot.
And some familiar names on this team as well: Sharon Alfonso, Cheryl Sampson, Glenda Jennings Smith.
That's her again.
Esther Boswell. We know those names.
Yes.
Sharon Blake Clark, who she retired, and she's another one of our 1982 batches who retired as assistant commissioner of police and who also represented the Trinidad and Tobago as a national netballer.
Yeah. Yes. I see. Go with the names again, Natasha.
Okay, standing left to right: Sharon Alfonso, Elaine Ford, Cheryl Sampson,
South,
Sharon Blake, Claire Clark Snaggs, and stooping left to right: Glenda Jennings Smith, Stuart, there's no first name there, Joanne Archie and Esther Boswell.
Yeah, Stuart, Esther from South Tuma. Stuart was, she was on a PTI course. I met her on a PTI course. Gemma Stewart, right. She's retired now, or she's still?
Yes, she has retired. She has retired.
So really, women in everything, well represented on all levels and in all kinds of activities.
Now here you are dressed in tactical gear now.
Yes.
So you see me in my battle mode, not necessarily to battle, but my operational wear. And I was attached to the Tobago division at that time. I think that was the day where we had Great Race, the Great Race event. And of course, my other colleagues from Tobago, a division that I was really, really, really accepted and felt, loved in that division. It was my first division that I ever served as a senior superintendent. So when I left the public affairs unit, as it then was, and as the corporate communication department, I took up the role of senior superintendent in charge of the Tobago division.
And you're really happy with that tenure. So we talk about Tobago because you did some out of the box stuff too in Tobago. So we could talk about that. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we have in studio with us Ms. Joanne Archie. I just love the nickname. And
You're giving up on that.
No, I ain't giving up on that. First time I hear it too. Joanne Archie. She's here with us in studio, and we are just going through her career. Of course, this is an observance of International Women's Day, and we are celebrating the hardworking women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So, Joanne, you can tell us about these pictures.
About Tobago.
These are events that we had to celebrate women. Tobago division, Tobago, the large percentage of the human resource in Tobago are women.
Okay.
And senior women take the lead in many areas as well. We have Alicia Piggott, who is one of our media ambassadors as well. We have Sheila Prince. We have Miss Stuart Duncan, who has just gone there. So there are several senior women as well in Tobago who are holding their own on the sister isle. We want to commend and congratulate them as well.
Was that a difficult decision for you to grow across to Tobago? Because we know it's a very different culture. I mean, obviously the standard of policing and the it remains the same, but was that a difficult decision for you?
I had mixed thoughts about it when I was told by the then Commissioner, Mr. Williams, that I want you in Tobago. And I saw it. I love challenges. And I saw it as another means of me widening my experience, and also whatever knowledge that I had, to spread it in another area. And I will tell you, it was an experience in Tobago. I got full cooperation, even though when I was going to Tobago, people would ask me, "You going to Tobago? Tobago ain't like Trinidadian, And that was a myth. Because as I landed on the shores and I came off the plane, from the day that I left in 2018, I got full support of the Tobago public.
Next photo shot, man. And how you they made you feel at home. They welcomed you.
They didn't want me to leave. They didn't want me to leave, but I must, because it's my first division, it left a lasting impression indelibly on my mind, my experience running the Tobago division. I was able to come up with my ideas. I enabled and empowered the officers there to see how they can develop themselves, that nobody needed to do, So you gave them the opportunity, allow them to make decisions. And I am sure when I left, I would have left something with them to allow them to continue to grow and develop in Tobago.
Well, tell us about this picture now, because you end up on Dancing with the Stars too. So tell us about this.
That, when just about a few weeks before I was about to leave Tobago, I was approached by this dance group to participate in a competition which they titled Dancing with the Stars. The minister was one of those persons, Shamfa Kojo, Princess Adana, who was an artist. I can't remember the other persons who were deemed stars. And when they approached me as the senior superintendent in charge of the Tobago division, I said, I cannot ballroom dance. How can I go in the competition? So he said that the head of the dance group, he said that he will coach me.
Right.
So I had some coaching, and I think I learned my lesson well, because I was able to walk away with the first prize.
Papa.
And that was like a parting gift for me
Right.
in even Tobago division.
Right. And another skill learned. I mean, you
And
learn how to...
another skill. There you go. There you go.
You leave
Sorry to get
Tobago.
the video, man. I like to see the
learning
video. If
to,
you see the step out and thing, it was big thing, you know. She caused a real story to Tobago. Yes, sure. We can go to the next one, short man, and then we take a break and come back and we continue. And I know you all would not forgive us if we didn't give you a chance to call in this morning. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
will leave room for that.
But was there anything different about that division that you identified? Is there anything different about policing in Tobago that might be different from?
Because I'm looking at a
Trinidad?
picture now. These are Tobago officers, right?
Those are for the female
Yes.
officers
So-
as we celebrate International Women's Day of that year. I think it was 2016 or 17.
Listen to me. So what the men afraid to join the police in Tobago or something? What was?
No, well, incidentally, I think the women police the women in Tobago, I think they may have been more attracted to the job than the male counterparts. But we try to have recruitment drives where we attempted to attract we went and try to attract the males.
Yes.
Right.
But the women kept coming forward.
Yes, I mean, is that I'm seeing over your right shoulder. Is that Lynette?
No, that
Okay.
no, that is Miss Camille Ramsey, I think.
Okay. So this is the crew that supported you well in Tobago.
Oh yes, but I got support from the male as well. I don't think I got because I'm saying the organization will do well and has done well in understanding that if you develop on the strength of both genders, male and female, we would be able to serve that public outside there, because it's a diverse public and the organization is made up of both male and female. So that break the bias. I cannot speak of a bias in the TTPS as I'm a member now. As it relates to Tobago, I must say the men, I get the full support from the men as well whilst I was there.
Okay.
But this photo showed where we were celebrating International Women's Day. Hence, you see mostly women in the picture.
Okay, lovely. Well, I'm sure Tobago people are still mourning your departure.
Yes, somebody Arlene Jack says, God is so great. Just during this week we spoke about you. We really loved you here. So yes, they're missing you still.
Wow, that's so nice.
So is there anything else you want to share before we go to the break about Tobago and the kind of the significance of that experience to your career?
Given the fact that as I mentioned to you that I was told that, how come I'm going to Tobago and not used to Tobago. I also have relatives in Tobago because my grandfather, who was the Archie, he was from Tobago.
Right.
Okay.
And I still have relatives there. But I was able to put into practice or put into effect many of the initiatives coming up as a junior officer. As I said, at the number of years as a crime fighter, I was able and afforded the opportunity by getting the cooperation from the staff in Tobago to implement some of those initiatives. And also I had the support of the then Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, who I just needed to say, I needed this for Tobago. He respected some of the initiatives that I had, that I wanted to run my division, how I saw it fit at the time. I highlighted to him the deficiencies, what we didn't have in Tobago, and as much as possible, he supported me. And I think that is what made my job a little easier in supervising the staff in Tobago. Compliance and cooperation from the staff, recognizing the work that they did, because I always believe in reward and recognition. And when you reward certain behaviors, you're likely to see it repeated.
Yeah.
I empowered the officers, I rewarded good work, and of course, I was the first to discipline when you see breaches of
Step out of
discipline.
line, yeah.
But we had regular reward functions, and even the staff, we celebrated everything, right down to you, Officer Poppy. We had births of some puppies, so we celebrating that. So the fact that we recognize everybody, have a part to play.
Yeah.
You allow persons to make decisions, and you guided them, you mentored them, you allow them, afforded them training. And I think those are the issues in the type of leadership that I used whilst I was in Tobago that would have caused me to have cooperation from the staff.
No, Ms. Archie,
yes.
We discipline. You had to, on one hand, understand the rule where you may have to discipline an officer or two. No, I don't know what obtains in the police service, and this is the first time I asked this question. So let's say in the military, a soldier goes absent, like he didn't report for duty, he can end up before the commanding officer and get some CB. If you don't have a good reason for not showing up for work. And among other disciplines that have confined to barracks, that have detention to barracks. How does it work in the police service with regard to discipline?
We have standard operating procedures that we abide by. We have departmental orders. And we have a section in the police service, the complaints department, who address issues, and we have the Professional Standards Bureau, which of course again is headed by a woman.
Yes.
And so there's a strict disciplinary process as guided by the regulations.
But I'm talking about day to day, like if you have to discipline someone, for not reporting for duty or I know the PSB and others, there's a different level we're talking about here. But I'm talking about everyday discipline, like somebody failed to comply with our instructions and, because you all don't get days, right? You don't give your officers days.
Well, it depends on when you say days, confinement.
Right, yes,
No,
like
we don't.
duty and all these things.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We comply strictly with the police service regulations, who guides as to how to treat with the disciplinary process. And once you identify there's a breach, there's a process where you serve the person, informing them of the breach, and the person can respond within, they have a limited time to respond.
Right.
And then that, having responded, the investigator who is appointed have also a period of time within to conduct that investigations. If at the end there's a finding that the person would have committed a breach, the person is subjected to a tribunal.
Oh.
And coming out of that tribunal, it can have their number of options where the persons can be penalized with days pay or things like that. So it's a process.
That's a lot of work, boy.
Yeah, it is a process.
It's a long process because I remember Babel giving us a joke about a soldier in a guard. He decided after his shift was over, going back to the back room, he decided to pass through Miss George Chambers' garden and she saw him. She reported to the guard commander. He got a phone call, reported to the guard commander. On his reaching the sergeant major, days in one time. It wasn't no tribunal and investigation and swift. No, it was swift. On his way, they say on his way to Tetra, they already know how many days he was getting for that. And he just walks through the lady garden. So
I would assume that the police, as a civilian, a paramilitary organization, has to operate by
in a different,
slightly different rules, than
because what you explained there, you're talking about almost 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, it will at times it'll take longer than that because it depends on the investigations. Because remember, investigations take time. You have to interview persons. You have to record statements.
Right.
And then there's the process that we are guided by under the police service regulations.
Yep.
Folks, if you're just joining us, you're listening to our Dependency, and we're going to take a quick break. We have lots more for you. Stay right there, you folks on YouTube, Facebook, and I95.5. We thank you very much for joining us. We'll
and when we come back, we'll read some of your comments from Facebook and YouTube.
And we have some more photos to show you too as well. Stay right there.
Some of us like to play games of chance, but remember, gaming should be fun. So don't get carried away. Play for a prize, but don't pay the price. Play for fun, but never for keeps. Play smart, but never play all. Winning isn't everything. If you or someone you know needs help, call our gambling addiction hotlines. Rebirth House 623-0952 or After Hours 466-3146 or Serenity Place Empowerment Center for Women 794-7980. An initiative of NLCB and Eye on Dependency.
Finally, Welcome Relief comes in the form of a scientific-based program that shows us how to manage through the tough, current challenges. Called Habitalism. It features best-selling author on positivity and happiness, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, integrated with the award-winning Intangents methodology of Ross. Visit habitalism.me to register now for this free life-transforming program endorsed by the United Nations established University for Peace. Gifted by Guardian Group. Live easy.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency, and we have in studio DCP Joanne Archie as we recognize International Women's Day in Trinidad and Tobago, which is actually next week, Tuesday. But she is telling us all about her life and career in the police service as one of the occupations that, I mean, let me say, appears to be male dominated. Maybe not, is not so much now. As we have heard, the women are very much integrated from top to bottom in the service and are contributing significantly to the development of the organization. I just wanted to pick up on something you said earlier about your leadership style, and I think that is one of the things that women bring to the table, is a different kind of leadership that is inclusive, that is, as you say, reward and recognizing people for their efforts. And again, I think that is what women can bring to leadership in all spheres.
Yes, and my leadership style, I have been trained. I wouldn't say I was born a leader. I was afforded a lot of opportunities for training in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and I also did some self-development. And I led and continue to lead with empathy.
Yes.
I see the merit in my juniors, my subordinates' ideas, even though it may conflict with mine. I afford them opportunities to even, to develop themselves. I guide, I listen, I empathize. And I held that position as the acting Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of administration, and I can tell you that the very issues that women have in the organization, the males have it as well. So when they come to you on a daily basis, you have to listen. And I think that once you can afford an officer, whether male or female, because I've seen where the male officers come to you with the very issues, parenting issues, domestic issues. And we have to listen and afford them. Right now we are reviewing our EAP program, Employee Assistance Program, because since this pandemic, it affected everyone. Male, female. The male officers have children, the female officers have children.
Right.
They have issues with the parents in the home. So that you listen, and as I said, as female officers, you have that more nurturing, motherly instinct that they tend to come to you and feel free to open up to you. And as a leader, I listen.
I think women brought that to the table in leadership too. Because you're speaking here, remind me of Major Cheryl Richardson
Yes.
and
Yes.
and Alana Wheeler, who is
Yes.
head of the counter trafficking unit. I think this move has made a lot of men uneasy, but it brings the morally side of the task to the table. Because there was one trainee who showed up one morning giving real trouble, and the instructor was ready to send her home, and made her say, no, bring her to my office, and only to find out there are certain issues you just explained. And all she had to do was she asked, and the young lady opened up, and instead of sending her home, she understood what the problem was, and they dealt with it right there. So I think you all bring the motherly side, the motherly instinct to the job, and that's commendable.
You had some comments you wanted to share?
Yes, I wish Mrs. Joanne Archie continued success in her future endeavors. God and Natasha, thanks for bringing her on this morning. You are a lady on the job and off the job, a very humble person and dedicated to anything she put her mind to. God's blessings to all, and that came from Daddy Scratch.
All right. So, and on Facebook, Annie says, sorry, at that time the service had a height limit. I couldn't get in because of height. My uncle, 2 cousins and brothers were officers. I'm now left with an adopted nephew. Congratulations to all the women who made it. Pearl again just wanted to mention an officer who has since passed, Anne Duncan, but she was an outstanding community person and community officer. Beverly Ann, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has so many well-trained and qualified female officers. I'm putting out an additional challenge to you all to keep pushing harder to continue to save our young women. I trust you can all do it. I had the opportunity to work with Marjorie John and Janet Bailey. So she has some, thank you for that. Beverly Ann. Cecilia says, congratulations, Miss Archie. Thanks for your service. As we trail the blaze in the Southern Division. Always a humble and intelligent human being. Fitzroy Frederick, congrats, Joanne. Phenomenal character. Nice working with you through the years. A paragon of a woman.
Fitzroy Frederick, you know, you get that kind of commendation
Oh,
from Fitzroy
yes.
Frederick, you know.
Oh, yes. One of our mentors, one of our persons who guided us as female officers. I want to tell him thank you publicly. And he continue to call in and give advice to our women and myself.
Really?
You know? Yes,
That's
he
nice.
continues. He calls me every day.
And I'm sure
Some
Mr.
advice.
Mr. Filbert too is very proud of you too as well, James Filbert.
Well, he is one of the persons, and as I mentioned before, in my formative years in the police service, there were male officers who really molded me, who guided me, and who had that confidence to place me. When I went to the CID Southwestern Division as an inspector in charge of crime, I was appointed there by Mr. James Filbert. So those are the officers who they are still around, and they still lend guidance to us as police officers.
Yep.
Miss Archie, you're blowing up Facebook here this morning.
Yes,
you will have to go
Curtis.
back on after the program and look at all the comments and respond. And
Let me just share a few more. Good morning. Curtis says, good morning, everyone. Time to break the glass ceiling. I'm feeling so proud to be from TNT. We brought 2 men from Canada to head the force when we have competent women and men here to head the service. Blessings to you, ACP or DCP, it should be, Archie, and by extension, other members of the service. Brandy says, congratulations, ma'am, a woman of the southern soil. So proud of you. You deserve recognition for the many hats you wear. You're truly an exemplar. Patrick says, blessed good morning to you, DCP. Happy to hear from you. You are my hero. You always bring the soft touch of the police service. I'm proud to know you. The CCC, of which I was a part from 9 years, where you always supported the program. Thank you for your, that's Patrick Billy.
Okay. Yeah, it's a soldier. He a former
And
soldier.
of course, Bodyguard sends his regards. Please tell Miss Archie hello for me. Right? Miss Archie, Giselle says, let your light so shine so men can see your good work and glorify your Father in heaven. Pearl asks, haven't heard about Officer Griffith Hodge for a while?
She's retired, but she's still pretty much close and into policing because she also calls and lend advice and to the other women police as well.
Right, great. Cheryl says, Garth and DCP Archie, it seems as though we all grew up in San Fernando. This is Cheryl Henry. I grew up on the Naparima, Mayaro Road, close to Inverness Avenue. I went to Mrs. Manning private school. My father worked at Texaco. In 1959, he got a job at Wassa St. Joseph. So we moved to Curepe. Thank you for that little bit of history.
So people in the house.
Yes.
little
Patsy
bit
Joseph, Batch Joanne Archie still representing the A to G squads, A to J squads of 1982. Love always.
Yes, yes.
Right, so let's go to the last bit of pictures here,
Yes.
Sharma, before we take some calls from Ms. Archie.
Let's start with
tell us about this.
I having served as the public information officer and appreciated the role of the media in law enforcement, I got into the issue of media and communication, and I thought to better equip me for the job, I communicated to my then Commissioner of Police, Mr. Stephen Williams, that I wanted to pursue masters in mass communication because I saw the need of that gap where law enforcement and the media, how much we could have done with the media to promote policing in Trinidad and Tobago. And it's done all over the world. So I pursued the master's degree, and that was in 2016, and I graduated. And the rest is history. I still use my experience where I sat as the public information officer, and also my accomplishment as with the masters to continue to work to guide our corporate communications department with the policing initiatives that we throw out every day. I returned, I supervise the department now, and if you would have observed at our weekly press briefings, I brought back having the divisional heads appear at the weekly press briefing so that the public could become familiar with who is the head of Southern Division, who is the head of Western Division. And in addition to that, these senior officers, when appearing on the briefing, they will give off information as to the situation as it relates to policing in the various divisions.
Yes.
So that, as I said, the public can be apprised as to what is happening with crime in their neck of the woods, what efforts are being made to address those issues, and how the public themselves can assist the police officers in fighting crime.
Yeah, breaking those barriers, because it really is, it can be an intimidating thing for persons to even walk into a police station to make a report. So the more familiar you are with the persons
Public
who
awareness is important for us in policing.
Of course. Now this photo here of you in your ceremonial garb, where was this?
This was some time ago when we had, and we with all that is happening here and all that is happening in policing, I must say, I could not have been where I am. I could not have gone through, because you will appreciate that policing is a very challenging profession, very demanding. But I continue to lift my eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help. I have a relationship with God, and if was not for God, I would not be where I am today. Amen. So I thank God and the persons He has placed in my life, senior officers, both male and female, to assist me in my rise to the rank that I am now.
Nice.
Wow. And according to Mr. Rex Vidali, they need you back in Tobago, so I don't know if you could take a trip back to Tobago before you retire.
Oh, God. Let's go to the next one, short man. And he'll tell us where this photograph was. But yeah, looking nice in your whites. This is the ceremonial uniform.
Yes, that is our ceremonial wear, and that was a church service we had in the TTPS about 2 years ago. No, some years ago.
Some years.
Yeah.
Before COVID.
Oh yes.
Because that's how you have to refer to things now, before and after COVID. So you have done some work in the region. This looks like a regional sort of exercise.
That's a training program that I was afforded and attended in 2019. And that is in New Mexico, in Ilea University, where we were exposed to training in investigations, criminal investigations, investigations in terrorism, media. We had some training in media as well. And if you notice in that photo, you see the Minister of National Security peeping out to the back there.
Yes. I see him there.
Right. So that was a
Second
training,
from left.
That
Or from right.
exactly. That was a training program for senior officers in ILEA, in New Mexico in 2019.
Okay.
So as I said, the organization continued to prepare us for leadership role and has prepared us for leadership role by the different training programs we were afforded locally and internationally.
Yeah. And what do you want to say about how women have grown in the police service regionally? Have you been able to share your expertise with other women police in the region?
Well, not really, not personally, but I have been reading where women police have been rising and continue to rise since we have shattered that proverbial glass ceiling. So many years ago we done that. So we have come of age, and this is not just happening in Trinidad and Tobago, it's happening regionally, internationally. I see recently there was a woman police who was appointed as a commissioner.
Yeah.
And we are not very far away from that. We are just one rank away from it. And we have the person sitting right in the chair where it can happen.
Yes.
So we continue to shatter the little splinters that may be remaining there to make our name in the books of history.
Yes.
From since 1955
to now. And this photo that you're posing for, where is this? In this lovely yellow jacket.
This one was with the same training program
in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, where we visited as part of the training. We visited one of the courts in the division where we were, and were allowed to sit in on one of the hearings of that was happening at the time.
Okay. And how different was it to what obtains locally, and what did you learn from that experience?
Well, certainly their judicial system is different from us, and I think it's swifter, if you ask me. So the whole structure of their legal system, their judicial system, I mean, there are some things that we can take away from it, and I would not mention it on air, but it was in fact a very rewarding experience. The training program that we were awarded and certified for.
Yes. Someone was asking.
And this was courtesy the U.S. Embassy.
Right. Someone was asking about how do you pass on your knowledge to junior staff? Like, what are the methodologies? You mentioned some of them before, but what are the other ways that you try to guide those under you and help prepare them for moving up the ranks?
Well, the thing about it is that we cannot just sit in our chairs and say, well, we achieved this and we achieved that, if we don't allow for continuity and progression and even taking into consideration the attrition rate of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as it relates to both men and women. So we continue to coach and mentor our younger ones in leadership programs. We recently had some leadership training for all ranks, from inspector right up to ACP at the police academy. I facilitated the section on media relations and communication and public speaking.
Right.
So that we continue to train our officers. Since 2022, we are seeing a lot of our first division officers, quite a few of them who would be exiting the organization, including myself. But we leave a legacy by the training we provide them, the opportunities we afford them to grow and develop, and provide leadership advice to them so that they can continue to grow and fill the positions as we exit.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Deputy Commissioner of Police Joanne Archie, Joanne Terry Archie.
Yes.
And we have, before we ask you to comment on the release, could you, we have a surprise for you here this morning.
A small surprise. Come
yes,
back
hello, good morning. Our mission is to... Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Morning. Nobody could surprise Mr. Archie. Mr. Archie is an all-rounded woman, you know.
Well, this is a surprise. It is.
Let me to take off my mask.
You say you're doing some work in.
All of this to me, I good thing I switch off my brush cutter here, you know. Anyhow.
Morning, Mr. Philbert.
Morning, sir. Guys, how are you?
Good.
I sent a text to congratulate Miss Archie and then I put on my brush cutter. Miss Archie, I don't know what to say about you. You are a strong woman.
Thank you.
And I don't know if you recall when I couldn't find anybody in a straight pants. They said to Southwestern, I said, Miss Archie, go down the road.
I just mentioned that.
Mr. Archie, did you man? You told them that?
Yes, I did.
Right. And Mr. Archie, did you man service me down there?
Right.
You understand? Let me just say that Miss Archie has had a wonderful career and she learned from the best. People like Mr. Francis Nelson and some of the people who have gone. You know, people like Mr. Taylor, he's gone. But there was a time when CID was unmatched. And Miss Archie was part of that team. Okay. Of course, they couldn't compete with Southwestern, where I ran the show, but, you know, Miss Archie has a wonderful background. I think Miss Archie and her team, they are doing well. Miss Archie, did you mention that my wife, who was a former police officer, one of the first female mounted police officers with Miss Dinoon and others? Did you say that?
No, sir, I was getting to that. But I didn't mention the part you all played in molding me in all round the police officer. The waka was on and you didn't hear.
What we have in court now is evidence of that. And let me tell you something. I have found that some of the best performers, the best investigators, there's a lady called Miss Tom Doname Tom who left as a sergeant. One of the best homicide investigators. She will work on Christmas Day and forget it's Christmas.
Right.
You know, and then we have a batch of young women in the intelligence unit who assisted in breaking the back of a major drug team in Cedros. Their names will not be mentioned, but it's because of them that the MI5 and the DA were very pleased with the action that we took some years ago, and they managed to send people to Miami, where they were indicted and made prison. Young women. And I can follow up. Did you mention that lady from Cable, Miss Archie?
Yes, I did, sir. The waka, you didn't hear.
Right, good. So I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder this morning, but Miss Archie, it's a pleasure knowing you and having you in the police service. And I think you all have a hell of a job to do because crime is a challenging situation all the time. We must not get emotional with it. Police officers are like soldiers. They take an oath and they go to war and they fight and win.
Yes, sir.
And I am saying to you, you know, Marshall, I remember I had a conversation with some of you not too long ago.
Yes, sir.
And it was a pleasure doing that. And you didn't mention that the head of the homicide is a woman too. You should tell them.
Yes, I did, sir.
The waka said the waka.
The waka.
Right. So anyhow, let me not take up too much time. I want to say, Miss Archie, I wish you all well. And congratulations on International Women's Day. And you all continue to do the police service, human service. It's an organization that makes its own policies. It asks what it wants and must not get anything less. The best of men and the best of women to fight the cause. So my congratulations to you, and my help is always there. I'm a police officer first. After 43 years, I cannot change.
Yes, sir, I acknowledge that, and I know I mentioned before where you always just call your phone and you're always there to lend advice, and we appreciate that and say thank you.
Right. I understand it. I can't change what this work is still running and I forget it running. Let me move from it.
Thank you very much for joining us, though.
I was made of that, and you know, I met good people. Some of the people who taught me in the early days. The first patrol I made was with Miss Duncan.
Yes, senior woman as well.
Right? And there are a lot of women who did a lot to show me what the police service is about, including my wife, and I am happy to have been a member of the police service. So let me not steal too much of the time. Garth and Natasha, it's always good to speak to you.
Same here, sir.
We still have a bone to pick, Garth. I will call you when you.
Oh Lord.
When you have some. We talk.
All right. Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Judy Codrington says hello. And
oh, yes.
no, Judy, right?
Right.
Right. And Tony W., my mother, retired Inspector Phyllis Pierre Walker, former national netball captain of the Trinidad and Tobago, captain of the police netball team, a member of the TTPS hockey team.
Wow.
Well, we love this. She said she will love this, Tony. She is also fondly remembered by many officers who were trainees under her charge at the Police Training College. Ms. Archie, before we take some calls, could you tell us about that release from the police service yesterday? And then we could open the line for some calls for you this morning.
Well, yesterday somebody sent me a video that allegedly portrayed a young female being assaulted. And I immediately called the the head of another unit was headed by a woman, the head of the Special Victims Unit, Miss Claire Guy Allen, to show some light on it. And what I was told that they were aware of the video that had been circulating on social media, and it depicts a female minor being sexually assaulted by an adult male while seated in the back seat of a vehicle. We also sent out the caution to the public, and while it has become commonplace to share videos and pics of topical and trending stories via social media, in this particular instance, doing so can be contrary to the law. And that's the Children's Act 4601, Section 40, which states, and I quote, to publish, distribute, transmit child pornography. Anyone who contravenes this law is liable on conviction and indictment to a fine of $30,000 and imprisonment for 10 years. So we are asking in the TTPS to cease and desist from sharing the video clips. The TTPS will also like to inform the public that a report was in fact made concerning the incident to the Northern Division Child Protection Unit by the victim. And on Wednesday, the 2nd of March, police conducted inquiries and a suspect was arrested on the same date. The man was formally charged with the offense of sexual touching of a child on this date, and he appeared virtually before the Tunapuna Magistrate Court, and he was remanded into custody pending tracing. So for those who are listening and who would have seen the video, the offender was in fact arrested and is now in custody.
That's excellent. And also a reminder of the fact that we should not be sharing these videos. As DCP said, it can be considered child pornography, and remember, children cannot consent to being filmed, which leads to the offense that is possible if you share such videos. Yeah, correct.
You know, and the thing about it is videos like that, you know, if you do a video with somebody feeding dogs and poor people, that might only make like 2 or 3 but once it's something negative, wow, I don't know how
salacious and controversial, and I don't know why people would want to share that kind of video, because it's
we have
not
another surprise for you,
appropriate.
John.
Oh, we do.
Good
Good morning.
Hello,
good morning. My name is Superintendent Charles, and I am from the Port of Spain City Police. I just want to call you to say wish Ms. Archie all the best. And I'm very happy for her. She's a woman I have known since her entire career. Ms. Archie is a woman that demonstrates that fire, that passion for policing. She's somebody, although a male, but I look up to her as a sister. Somebody who has been a great stalwart in terms of the police service. I recall the early days when she was attached to the CID in San Fernando. People like Ma'am Hutch Griffith, Ma'am Cooper, and these are the people that really took the responsibilities and went out there and ensured that the Southern Division was a place that people could feel that safe at their home. Right? So I want to tell Ms. Archie, I am very proud of her. I know that she'll be leaving soon, and that will have a great dent in terms of the police service. But I know she'll be there to offer her services. And I want to say, ma'am, congratulations. It has been a great inspiration to me in terms of moving up in my career, and a good example. And it was somebody that I could always call upon and got good advice. He was a good mentor. and I'm proud to call her my sister.
Thank you very much,
Well said,
Mr.
sir.
Charles. Mr.
Well said.
Charles, let me say something, God. He's from South as well.
Yes,
And
out in the house.
Mr. Charles, he was is a member of the municipal police.
Okay.
And we grew up in policing together. He at municipal and we at the CID. And we work together with each other. We build on each other's strengths, all in the interest of crime prevention. Mr. Charles he's a senior superintendent now at the municipal police,
Right.
and he has taken the municipal police section to such a level based on his experience from all the years that we worked together in crime fighting.
Okay.
So
okay.
thank you, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, and thank you for imparting that knowledge and experience on me over the years and being a good inspiration and really motivate me to propel forward and always encourage me, do not stop there, continue, the sky is the limit. So I want to say thanks, man. I really, 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 really appreciate, that contribution I paid in my policing career and still continue to possess. Thank you, ma'am.
Most
Thank
welcome.
you very much.
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Charles. Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next call, can I share a comment from Natasha Walker, my namesake? She says, beautiful, passionate, gentle, and hardworking lady with a lot of finesse. I was happy to meet you in January 2022. She says, this is the lady you pulled over in Mount Hope, Natasha Walker. I took your advice. Thank you so very much, Miss Archie. I am listening to you right now.
That's a big woman.
Oh my.
That is a big
You remember
woman.
that incident?
I
pull over.
did. I did. And sometimes that's an incident that occurred. Now, I will say now that we had some blame to take in it as well, but I spoke to her, and at the time she was upset, but now I realize she really listened to me.
She did.
And I thank you for that. I thank you for that, ma'am. And I know we will meet again, but really, really, I appreciate the fact that because I was very stern with her, but here it is, she still called in or texted
Yes.
and was able to give those goods. Well, thank you so much, ma'am.
Oh, that is someone I admire people like that. Who
Yes,
would actually.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
that's
thank you.
appreciated.
Patricia, you're trying to call in, but no response. All right, hold on. We're going to take your calls now. Now, you're going to proceed on retirement soon. We could talk a little bit about that before we
Yes,
take the
I am
calls.
supposed to proceed, and I am preparing for retirement for the short while that I have here. I have a lot to offer, and I have been offering. I cannot leave with all that experience and knowledge that I would have acquired over the years. I acquired a lot of literature and stuff on policing over the years, 39 years we are speaking of, and I began making copies and distributing to the younger police officers, both male and female. I'm always sharing that, and I have encouraged young women, young men to join the organization, because I still regard the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as a very noble organization and a noble profession. And I tell people that everything I own, and experience I've had, I owe it to the police service. I have given back and continue to give back to my communities. I continue to do so because it's how I feel about myself. I exercise self-awareness, and I continue to maintain that relationship with members of the public. Since I recall my days in crime fighting as a young officer, the people in the communities who assisted me with my information, when they come to you, and that trust they had in you to disclose certain information. In fact, just a few weeks ago, I got a call from a gentleman who was an informant, my informant when I was a constable. I am an assistant commissioner now, and he was still able to call me and tell me XYZ is happening. And that because of the trust that those people have in you and the relationship that you build. And because I always consider myself a good listener.
Let's take the calls now, guys, before we run out of time. Please, the people will never forgive us. So 622-3937, and Ms. Joan Yule Williams says, good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Continue the good service.
Yes, thank you for your service. And all others who have joined us, we want to thank you so much for joining with us this morning to celebrate not only Miss Archie, but the women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service
And International
and the
Women's
exemplary service to our country. And for those who has passed through due to COVID, that COVID-19 experience. So let's
They're going to talk to me now.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, morning, sir. You had another surprise for Miss Archie, so make your comments so we can take some more calls. Let's go. Good morning to you.
Yeah, well, my name is McDonald Jacob. Acting Commissioner of Police.
Aye.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was unable to listen the entire program because I was fortunate to be involved in a session at the Police Youth Club this morning where another woman police, Miss Williams Goddard, just launched an entire program, agricultural program, together with the Minister of Health, the MP for St. Joseph, and the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Ramarat. And we had that program this morning, and it was based on bringing the market back to Market Street in St. Joseph and the family food bank. And this is where the young people will be involved in a whole host of work dealing with agriculture and linking with the Ministry of Agriculture. So that program, we just launched that program. It was just completed. So that is why I'm now able to call in,
Okay.
So again, contribution by the women of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. A young woman police who is in fact the police youth club leader for the St. Joseph Youth Club. And I know you have the esteemed person there, Ms. Joanne Archie, right, our Assistant Commissioner of Police, who is now in charge of operations in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And in spite that she may be leaving us in the next few months, right, and we know that every day, every hour, every minute is important when you have persons of such esteem and experience that can add to the chain as a change agent, right, and promoting the whole aspect of succession planning within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and helping to develop the younger women police. So again, on behalf of myself and the entire rest of the executive, Ms. Archie, we thank you very much for the contribution you have made over the years. We know each other since the years of the criminal investigation department in San Fernando. Today, working together as a team. So thanks so much.
Mr. Jacob.
Contribution.
Mr. Jacob, good morning. And thank you very much being another Southerner in the house here this morning.
Oh gosh,
can't help but put that. And I want to thank you for joining us, and we hope that we can get you to sit with us one Sunday too as well.
No problem at all.
I know you will accommodate.
Head of the corporate communication, Ms. Joanne Archie, will organize that definitely because she has several roles.
Yes, sir.
And I am very obedient, Commissioner of Police. I will do so.
I will use the word very disciplined. Because I know your colleague there will like to hear that word discipline.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks,
God bless.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You take care. All right, so that was Commissioner of Police, McDonald Jacob, just calling in there and endorsing. And I mean, you can't ask better when you could get the very top to call and commend you on your work. That is
yes, indeed.
That is wonderful. Hello, good morning. 622-3937. Hello, good morning. And the lines are open now. You can call us if you have any short greeting from Ms. Archie. What's going on?
Hi, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
God, I had to call back, boy. No, boy, God. I'm glad to see what you and Natasha are doing, boy. Good one. This lady is one of the humblest person I ever know. I used to play for Emancipation, and she always does bring her husband CD for me. Up to now, me didn't know she was a big officer, big police officer.
Yes.
Because he always telling me, thanks, sir, for playing music. Is that they are passing up for shit? And I see a black band just pull up. I say, where's that one, boy? I know I do nothing wrong. When I do so, I see a glass line up. I say, but wait now, that's the same lady, boy. And she grabs something. I say, nah, boy, I rap out of here, man. Keep on keeping on. Keep on doing what you do best. And you know, you're a blessed mother to your children and them. So stay strong, God.
Thank you.
All right, Daddy.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling.
Big up.
622-3937. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I was a little confused hearing you saying acting deputy commissioner of police. Is she acting deputy commissioner, acting assistant commissioner? And the other thing I want to find out, there used to be a Mr. Archie leading the police band. Is that person related to her? And finally, was she able to work with Mr. Randolph Burrows?
Did you ever met?
No, when I entered the police service in 1982, he was the commissioner of police, but he left shortly after. I did not work any length of time with him.
I did one operation with him when he was commissioner. Yeah, we I remember as a young soldier going and
in the bush,
standing in front of this man and giving us orders before we went out on patrol.
Okay,
it was very intimidating.
I remember when we were going into the academy, when some of our officers were not properly dressed, and he stood from the commissioner's residence and he saw that and he came out and he ordered some of them to go right back home how they were dressed.
Yes. 622-3937. Hello, good morning. Hello. Sorry, we
Hi,
lost that.
good morning.
Hello, morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from the beautiful, sunshiny, lovely island of Tobago.
Hi, Tobago in the house. Morning.
It would be remiss of me if I didn't call.
Of course.
The name is Alicia Piggott, Inspector of Police.
Hi.
I know Miss Archie is smiling from ear to ear when she hears this name.
Sister of Alicia. Yes. Who's at work at custom?
Yes, Simoy.
Simoy, sorry. Yes, I said
yes.
Alicia. Simoy.
So I really have to call and tell Miss Archie, you know, thanks for everything. You know, some people feel I felt I know Miss Archie only when she came to Tobago, but I knew Miss Archie for my service is 24 years. I think it's March the 9th of this year. But I knew Miss Archie at least 22 of those years, and I didn't hear she speak of that place where she used to work at the JP squad. Yes. And then it became anti-corruption. I didn't hear she talk about it at all.
Yes, ma'am.
So I knew Miss Archie from then.
Wow.
And she is someone who always pushes you. You know, if you don't know her, you will say, oh gosh, well, get off her back now. But you know, and you know, I think it is very emotional to know that she's leaving. And as a woman, a female in the police service, I know a lot of females would have been happy to have her, and she would have made indelible contribution to a lot of person's life.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, I don't want to be rude, but Joanne, I know and I'll get booked for it, but Joanne, thank you so much, Miss Archie. And Godspeed, I know that you will continue wherever you go, whatever you do. Don't go home and lie down, and don't go home and lie down at all. So wherever you go, whatever you do, I know you will continue to call us and give us your whatever assistance or whatever advice. Okay? And God, thanks for having her and your wife.
You're welcome, most welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Piggott.
And thank you for your service too, Ms. Piggott.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. She was recently promoted to inspector, and I must say congratulations.
Yes, I saw that.
Inspector Piggott, and thank you for your kind sentiments.
Well done, Inspector, and of course to Simoy too, who's doing
her sister
great for
who
her
supports
sister.
us well.
Yes, in customs. Yes.
And to
Hello.
everybody in Tobago, I surely missing Joanne.
Hello, good morning.
Pleasant morning.
Morning.
My name is Roger Mohammed.
Yes, sir.
My friend.
Sergeant of Police.
How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right. Let me just start off by wishing Natasha and Miss Archie Happy International Women's Day.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
You know, oddly enough, I never really worked directly with Miss Archie. You know, she was overall in charge of the GEB for a while, where I was attached for many years, but I never really worked directly with her. However, her younger sister, Stacy, is my batch. We joined the work together in 1997, the 3rd of February. And I have known, through Stacy, I've known Miss Archie, and also as a very popular police officer in the TTPS, over the years, Miss Archie is like a big sister. She has the kind of personality that most people are drawn to. I've worked with many females in the organization over the past 25 years, and Miss Archie is really a gem. She's really one of a kind. And I always refer to her as a natural star. Personality is something that you're blessed with, by God. You can't fake it.
Trust
you can't
that.
pretend it.
Well said.
And she's just the kind of person that is blessed with a special kind of personality. That's how I see her. And Miss Archie, I want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors. The TTPS has a way of losing some of its best human resource. Like you, I'm already on pre-retirement leave, and I know that you will be proceeding shortly as well.
Yes.
But I want to wish you all the best in future endeavors, and I know that wherever you go, you will leave your mark, a positive one at that. Okay, so all the best.
Thank you,
you
bodyguard.
very much, Mr. Mohammed,
Roger
and I wish
Mohammed.
you all the best as well.
My fellow Kaisonian bodyguard. Ms. Walker, I hope you're getting through, because we're really trying, and I know you're trying your best to get through. So let's try and see if that is you next call. 622-3937, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
This morning I heard a very long list of police women from history, but I didn't hear the name of an officer who was pretty colorful and very much on the beat, the name Marjorie Bipat Singh. How does she do?
Yes,
In truth, boy, yes, you forgot Marjorie, yes.
Indeed.
I think the only policewoman who lock up a man for not standing up for the answer.
Yes, thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that reminder. International Women's Day, Hands Across the Waters, candlelight vigil, folks, this evening at Woodford Square from 5:30 to 7 p.m. We invite you to come out, wear purple, and bring a sign and a candle. All right, so those folks of you head down to Woodford Square this evening for 5:30 for Hands Across. Hello, good evening. Hands Across the Waters. Morning, sorry. Morning.
Morning.
Yes,
morning.
sir.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. You're live on the air. So
Yeah, I'm just calling to say I'm not a southerner.
South in the house.
Yeah, he's not a southerner, but...
Oh, he's not a southerner?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We welcome you still.
Congratulations. Curtis Paul is the name.
Who is it?
Blessings to you.
Who is it?
Thank you, Mr.
We
Paul.
await you, and we on this side await you with a beating breast. Our arms are wide open, waiting to accept you. God bless you again. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. That's retired senior superintendent Curtis Paul.
Okay. What about Mr. Snacks? How is he doing? You're here from him?
He's doing well. I see him regularly. He's doing well, yes.
Okay. And
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Mervyn Phillip.
Who is this?
Mervyn Phillip.
Mervyn Phillip.
Mervyn Phillip.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Miss Archie. You prevented me from going to my garden this morning.
Oh, my. I'm so sorry. We'll make up for that.
I heard you on the radio and I decided I have to wave the garden this morning just to send a congratulations and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Another stalwart in the police service. He was a top prosecutor, Mr. Phillip.
Mr. Phillip, yes. Yeah, popular name. Very popular name.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you for calling, sir. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, I will feel like a loser this morning. I didn't get through. Mr. and Mrs.
Yes.
Good morning. Morning. And to Miss Archie.
Good morning.
And happy International Women's Day. Miss Archie, I had the pleasure of seeing you in the flesh in July 2013 at the Trinidad and Tobago Hilton. It was it was Garth and Natasha who had went out of the way for that special occasion when we had the Grammy Award winner.
Oh, Billy Paul.
Billy Paul.
I remember that occasion.
Remember that night?
Yes, ma'am.
So when I saw you there, I said, wow, flamboyant as ever. But God bless you. You have done well. I didn't have the opportunity. Place was so, hot and thing, so to come and introduce because there was so much happening. But for what I've heard, I know you're a unique person. And I would like to meet you. And I am hoping that I would feel better in the future because I had some little health issues. But I used to do a lot of work with the community police in Sandy Grande. And I worked with quite a few female police officers, special reserve. We have a program that we call City, Caring Intervention for Troubled Youths, and Sergeant Baptiste, and so I would really like to continue that work, to work with young people, because there's a lot of work out there, a lot of work out there, so that we could stem that, that raise and thing in crime. So I know you're not going home to sit down. And you see, people believe when you retire, if you're not careful, you'll be working harder, eh?
Yes,
The only thing about retirement, you're not getting up and going out to work and in traffic and things, but you have more on your hands 24/7.
Yvonne, morning.
Right. So
Yes, I don't mean to be rude, but we have to.
Right?
We have to.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best.
Wonderful program.
All right, thanks a lot.
Now we only have 5 minutes left,
yes, so
folks.
we have two special people on. We have to speak with. Let's make sure that Mommy Archie is here.
At least.
Yes. 6, and then folks, as well. We, before we wrap up, we always grateful for you all who, join us and share your sentiments. Ms. Archie, I would ask you to go back on our Facebook.
Yes, please.
On our Facebook page and look at the comments and respond to them, please. Because yes, we have a lot of them, and we always, when you're doing good things, we always run out of time when we're doing this type of programs because. It's really important that you get the love from the people that you deserve.
Yes, certainly.
And
and I appreciate a whole lot.
Yes, you see how loved you are,
yes,
without a doubt. you are really loved, and that is so wonderful. And folks, remember that function this evening at Woodford Square, Hands Across the Waters Candlelight Vigil from 5:30. So you go there, wear purple, bring your sign with you and a candle, and on behalf of the network of NGOs and all other NGOs involved, we thank you all very much for doing this for the folks. So, Joanne, this is it here. Until we meet again, we have something really special planned for you. So, yes, we do in June. So, just keep the date, pencil in the date, and make sure that you make yourself available because we're going to ask to do this one on the rooftop. So, yes, this one will be special.
A real event.
So, yes.
Event.
So, do we have Miss Archie?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes, Miss Archie? Is
Good morning.
Mommy?
Good morning.
Miss Rita?
Miss Rita, oi.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
I am.
Yes, Miss Rita?
Uh-huh.
Good morning, darling.
Good morning, loving.
How you doing?
Fair to find like the weather.
well, here we have your daughter in studio here, and we want to give you the last word. So you have 2 minutes. Give us the last word on on your daughter's tenure. I know you're proud of her.
I am.
I can imagine.
Bring up a child in the way it should go.
Yes.
When it gets old, it would not part from it.
Oh, yes, I don't speak around.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
All right. So, what can I tell you?
Well, we just want to thank you for providing us with such a beautiful daughter and her service to country. And as I said, I know Joanne was giving me the story how you accompanied her to recruit for the recruiting, and you stayed with her. And
every street.
and you did
every move up.
Yes. And you did what my mom would do. You head for a church afterwards to give God thanks.
Yes, going to church.
Hey, that is so kind. That is so nice. Mommy? We have uncle there? Mommy,
Alright.
well, we want
On
to
behalf of Trinidad and Tobago, we want
We
to
thank
thank
you.
you for producing this gem of a citizen,
Yes.
a woman in whom we are well pleased.
Yes, and I'm sure you are as well.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Rita.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. She said, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Rita. Okay, bye
Warms
bye.
my heart.
Okay,
Yes,
yes. Bye bye.
Okay?
Okay,
All
Mom.
Thanks for calling me.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.
All right.
Morning, Dad.
Morning.
Morning.
That's Uncle.
No, Uncle here on the side.
Oh,
All
God,
right,
Uncle.
you have
But
the
sorry we
last
didn't get
word.
you earlier, boy.
You have a
but-
minute.
No problem. I'll be very short. I just called to wish you and your better half
Mm-hmm.
and commend you all for a great job you all are doing.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. And my loving niece, Joanne. Sorry to call her Joanne, but I cannot help because all through the years it's Joanne.
Yes.
But Joanne, I call to wish you all God's richest blessing
Thank you, Unks.
as you prepare for your retirement. You have done a beautiful job. You are loved by
all
so many people.
Yes.
So many people that these
yes.
calls will never stop. Guys, you'll have to just pick up the phone and plug for it to stop.
Yes.
So I want to wish you, Joanne, all the best and God's richest blessing unto you, God, and your better half. I want to wish you the best also, and I thank you all for that giving me a little peek to say hello to her.
You're welcome,
I
sir.
listened-
You're
I
welcome.
listened to the whole program, and it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Very
much.
And
Uncle
I love you,
retired
Joanne.
Inspector Franklin Archie.
Wow, wow,
right.
that police in there. She did.
Yes.
Did you hear that? Thank you, sir. God bless. Have a good day.
Yes.
So,
okay.
folks, that's it. We're going to leave it there. We have major news up with Mr. Sterling Henderson, and then followed by Take Two with Roger and Mr. Kali Prasad. So, it was wonderful. Good morning. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you
Short
very much,
Man.
and happy International Women's Day. when it
Yes.
comes.
God bless you.
For the same to all women police, all women around the world. A happy International Women's Day, and thank you to everyone who have called in and sent their